Hello and welcome to this month's yoga class. So we're going to get to start lying down. So I would like you to lie down and get comfortable. And then once you're comfortable, I'd just like you to take your focus onto your breathing. So we'll start with some nice full deep breaths in and out. So with each deep breath in, we're trying to draw it down towards the stomach, allow your stomach to rise. And then as you breathe out, just allow your stomach to drop back down again. We really want to focus on trying to make those breaths as deep as possible. Then we're going to take one more deep breath in. As you breathe out, take the arms overhead, or if you can, we're going to interlace the fingers, and then we'll reach out through the whole length of the body. So we'll point the toes, we'll reach the hands as far away from the top of the head as possible. Like I said, really trying to make ourselves as long as we possibly can. And again, we'll focus on those deep breaths in and out as we do. And take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, just like to release that stretch. We can release the arms, and we'll bring them down to about shoulder height. From here, I'd to bend the legs. We're going to bring the feet to the floor. Keeping the shoulders down, we'll just gently lower the knees to the right, taking them as low to the floor as you feel you can. And we'll gently ease back to the center and out to the left. Now we're just going to gently take those knees from side to side, trying to keep the shoulders down as we do. So we can focus on this nice bit of movement through the hips and through the back of the body. And then if this movement's feeling good today, you'd like to add a little extra in the next time we take the knees back to the right. We can try and take the left knee up towards the right shoulder, still keeping the shoulders down. And then we can do the same as you drop the knees to the left, right knee towards the left shoulder. But if that feels too much, don't worry, just stick with taking those knees gently from side to side. And there's that one extra option we can add in, where if we feel we can take the toes out towards the fingertips. But again, if that feels too much, don't worry, just stick with the knee towards the shoulder, or just gently dropping those knees from side to side, whichever option feels right for you today. And then we're just going to go for one more to each side. And we can hold to the center. And then from here, I like to lift the hips off the floor. So we're just going to squeeze through the back of the body, lifting the hips as high as we feel we can. And if this feels enough, we'll hold it here. Or if we feel we can bring the arms in underneath this, maybe interlacing the fingers, straightening the arms out. Again, if this is enough, hold it here. If it starts to feel too much, we can bring the hands out. Or we can lower the hips back down to the floor. But then there is one more option where if we feel we can try and walk those shoulders in a little bit higher or a little bit further underneath us, lifting those hips a little bit higher. Still squeezing through the back of the body as we hold here. Taking those nice deep breaths in and out. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we can release the arms out from underneath us. We'll lower the hips down to the floor. And then from here, I'd just like you to allow your knees to drop out to the sides. As we do, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And just allow the knees to sink as far to the floor as you feel you can let them. And then we'll take our focus back onto our breathing. Taking those nice full deep breaths in and out. And on those next few deep breaths out, just see if you can allow the knees to sink a little bit closer towards the floor. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll slowly start to lift the knees. We'll bring the feet back to the floor. And then from here, I like to lift the legs. We're going to take hold of the shins. And we'll just draw the knees gently in towards the chest. And if this is enough, please just hold it here. Or if we feel we can, we're going to come into happy baby pose. So we'll draw the knees a little bit closer in towards us. We'll take the feet towards the ceiling, try and take hold of the inside or the outside of the feet if we can. If we can't reach the feet though, we can take hold of the ankles or the shins, just trying to get those thighs as close to parallel to the floor as we feel we can. As close to a 90-degree bend in the knee as we feel possible. And as we hold, we'll just focus on those nice deep breaths in and out. take a nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we can gently release, and we can hug the knees back in towards the chest. From here, I'd like to bring the hands to the back of the thighs. And if we feel comfortable too, we're just going to gently rock and roll on the spots. Slowly bring ourselves towards a seated position. If that doesn't feel comfortable though, please just gently bring yourself to a seated position. If we are happy to, we're going to build a little bit of momentum up. And then once we feel we've got enough momentum, we can release the thighs and either rock and roll to a seated position, or if we feel we can, rock and roll to a squat. But it doesn't matter which one, because from either, I'd like you to make your way onto all fours. So we'll bring the hands down and we can step the legs back. So here the hands are roughly under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. I'll just try to bring some movement through the back of the body. So as you breathe out, we're going to arch the spine up towards the ceiling. And then as you breathe in, we'll arch the spine the other way, pushing the chest down towards the floor. Now, if it feels more comfortable to have your breath the other way, that's absolutely fine. Please just go in time with your own breath. But we really want to focus on getting as much movement through the back of the body as we feel we can. One more time each way. We'll hold to the center. From here, I like to look out over the right shoulder. As we do, we're going to take the right shoulder back towards the right hip, so we get this squeeze down the right side of the body, and a bit of a stretch down the left. We'll ease back to the center. We'll do the same thing, looking out over the left shoulder, taking it back towards the hip. And back to the center. We'll just do that a couple of times to each side. Once more to each side. We'll hold to the center. From here we're going to sink into child's pose, which push the hips back towards the heels. We'll release the arms out in front of us. We'll just lower as far into the floor as we feel we can. A nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll gently ease back up onto all fours. From here, I like to tuck the toes under. We're going to lift the knees. We're going to push the hips back and up into a down dog. So here the heels can be lifted. We can have a little bit of a bend in the knees. We're taking the hips up high. We're trying to push the chest towards the thighs. So you get a nice flat back. Then we're going to take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, I like to bend the legs. We're going to step the feet forwards and together. So we come into a forward fold. And in our forward fold, we want to keep a slight bend in the knees because that's going to look after our hips. We want to let go through the arms and shoulders, just allow them to hang heavy in front of us. Don't worry if the hands don't reach the floor. And keeping the arms heavy, we'll slowly start to roll up to standing. Once we get to standing, I like to circle your arms overhead. Where if you can, I like to bring the palms of the hands together. Then we're going to add in a little back bend. So we're going to arch backwards. As we do, I want you to really focus on squeezing through the back of the legs and into the bum so we look after that lower back. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll release the back bend. We can release the arms, allow them to come down towards the side of the body. Then from here, we're going to take the feet a little bit wider. So the feet are hip width apart. Then trying to keep the feet hip width apart, I take a nice long stride back with the right leg. And then here we want to be able to bring the right heel down to the floor. Now the right foot can either be square with the edge of the mat, or we can have it at a little bit of an angle, whichever feels more comfortable. We want to keep a little bit of a bend in the left leg, and we want to square the hips to face the narrow edge of the mat. And to square the hips, we want to make sure we squeeze through those legs. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, I like to tip forwards from the hips. We're going to bring the hands down onto the left shin. We'll just hold it here. So if this is enough, please hold it here, and we want to keep that right heel pressed into the ground, that little bit of a bend in the left leg. If you need to ease out of it at any point, please do. If we feel we can reach a little bit further, we can maybe take the hands towards the ankle. Maybe even bring the hands all the way down to the floor. Wherever we're reaching to, we're keeping the right heel pressed into the ground, keeping that little bit of a bend in the left leg, and focusing on those nice deep breaths in and out. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll slowly ease back up. Then I like to lift the right heel. We're going to turn the toes so they point towards the narrow edge of the mat. You can keep the heel lifted. We're going to come into a lunge position. So I like to bend the left leg so we come into our lunge. Now if this feels too much, we can lower the right knee down to the mat. But whether the knee is down or the knee is lifted, I want you to keep that squeeze through the legs. We keep that left heel down, and we can bring the palms together in front of the chest.
Running out of love. You gave me everything I've got.
We're going to take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to add in a rotation. So we'll bring the right hand down to the floor. We're going to take the left hand towards the ceiling. So we look out over the left thigh. Again, if it feels too much, with the right knee lifted, please lower it down to your mat. Whether the knee's down or the knee's lifted, we're going to keep that squeeze through the legs. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll bring the hand back down to the floor. Then we're going to step the right foot forwards, coming back into our forward fold. We'll keep that slight bend in the knees, relax the arms and shoulders, allow them to hang heavy. And again, don't worry if the hands don't reach the ground. Take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll slowly roll up to standing. Where once you're standing, I like to circle your arms back overhead. Bring the palms of the hands together. We're going to go into our back bend again. So we'll arch backwards, squeezing through the back of the legs, the glutes as we do. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we can release the back bend. We'll release the arms. Bring them back down towards the side of the body. Again, we're going to take those feet to about hip width apart, so we'll just take them a little bit wider. Keeping those feet hip width apart, we'll take that long stride back with the left leg this time. And again, I want you to be able to bring the heel down to the floor. And the left foot can either be square with the edge of the mat or at a slight angle. A little bit of a bend in the right leg, and we square the hips towards the narrow edge of the mat. We'll take our deep breath in. As we breathe out, I like to tip forward from the hips. Bring the hands down onto the right shin this time, keeping the left heel pressed into the ground, keeping that little bit of a bend in the left leg, in the right leg, sorry. And again, if this is enough, we'll hold it here. Feeling a little bit more, we can reach the ankle. Or maybe even bring the hands down to the floor. Wherever we reached, you would keep that little bit of a bend in the right leg, keeping that left heel pressed into the ground. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll slowly ease back up to standing. Then I'd like to lift the left heel this time. We're going to turn the toes so they point towards the narrow edge of the mat. We'll take our nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to come into that lunge position on this side. So we bend the right leg. If we need to, we lower the left knee down to the floor. Whether the knees down or the knees lifted, we keep that squeeze to the legs. And if we can, we'll bring those palms together in front of the chest. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to add in our rotation on this side. So bring the left hand down to the floor, right hand up towards the ceiling, keeping that squeeze through the legs. Remember, if we need to, we can lower the left knee to the floor if we need to. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll bring the hand back to the floor. We're going to step the left foot in so we come back into our forward fold. We keep that slight bend in the knees. Allow those arms. And keeping the arms heavy, we'll slowly roll up to standing. From here, I like to bring the arms behind you. We're going to interlace the fingers. We'll pull the hands down and straighten the arms out. And if this is enough, we're just going to hold it here. And a little bit more though, we can pull those hands a little bit further away from us. So you get a little bit of a deeper stretch through the chest and shoulders. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we can ease those hands back in towards us, and then we can release the arms, allowing them to hang heavy. Time to come back into a forward fold. So we'll drop the chin back towards the chest, relax the arms and shoulders, a little bit of a bend in the knees as we roll as far towards the floor as we feel we can. And from here, I like to bring the hands onto the shins, just below the knees. We're going to lift the chest, bring it parallel to the floor, drawing the shoulder blades back and together. So we get that nice flat back, and we'll just hold it here. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll lower back into our forward fold, allowing those arms to hang heavy again. I like to bend the legs so we can bring the hands to the floor. We're going to step the feet back, pushing the hips up so we come into our down dog. So again, the heels can be lifted. We can have that little bit of a bend in the knees. We're pushing the hips up high, trying to push the chest towards the thighs. Then we're going to lift onto the toes. We're going to roll our weight forward so we come through into a plank position. Here we'll lower the knees to the floor. We're going to keep the elbows close to the ribs. We'll lower the upper body down to the ground. Then we're going to lift into a back bend, so we'll draw the shoulder blades back and together. We're going to squeeze through the bum and the back of the legs, lifting the chest as high off the floor as we can, but without pressing the hands into the ground. deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll lower back to the floor. Here we're going to push back up onto all fours. We'll tuck the toes under. We'll lift the knees, pushing the hips back and up into our down dog. So again, hips are high, heels can be lifted a little bit in the knees, chest towards the thighs. We'll lift back up onto the toes, we'll slowly roll our weight forwards, coming through into our plank again. Then either on the knees or toes, keep the elbows close to the ribs, we'll gently lower all the way down to the floor. And then I'd like you to bend the left leg. We're going to bring the heel up behind us, where we can reach back to take hold of the ankle. And we'll draw the heel a little bit closer in towards us. Now if we can't reach it on our front, we can roll up onto the right hip and shoulder, bend the left leg, take hold of the ankle here, and we'll get the same stretch into the thigh. It's just easier to take hold of in this position because we're not, or there's less resistance because we're not lying on the floor restricting our movement slightly. And as we hold, just focus on those nice deep breaths in and out. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, gently release and allow the foot to come down to the floor. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we'll bend the right leg, reach back, take hold of the ankle, draw the heel in. And again, if we can't reach on our front, we can roll onto left hip and shoulder this time. Bend the right leg, take hold of the ankle there, but we'll just hold it here. Take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll gently release, allow the foot to come down to the floor. Bring the hands back next to the rib cage. We'll either come into that small back bend that we did earlier, drawing the shoulders back and together, squeezing through the back of the body, lifting the chest a small way off the floor. If that feels enough, hold here. If you want a little bit more though, we can lift higher. We still draw the shoulder blades back and together. We're still squeezing through the whole back of the body a bit here. The legs can lift slightly off the floor. Now let's tuck the toes under, pushing the hips back and up into our down dog. And we can bend the legs and like to set the feet forwards, but this time we're going to take them wide and into as deep a squat as we feel we can hold. So it might be that the heels need to be lifted. It might be that this is as low as you feel you can hold it. That's absolutely fine. Wherever you are though, I want you to focus on squeezing through the legs, trying to draw the shoulders back, sitting up tall. And we're not going to hold here for too long. But if it does start to feel too much, please just gently make your way to a seated position. But like I said, we want to focus on that squeeze through the legs. So we really look after those knees, the hips, the ankles. We keep the tension in the muscles that way, not pushing it into the joints. We're going to take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we can gently make our way to a seated position. We'll take the legs out in front of us. Then we're going to come into a seated twist. So we can keep the right leg straight. I like to bend the left one, so we bring the foot flat to the floor, either inside the leg, or if we can, we'll bring it flat to the floor over the leg. But if we find the foot's coming off the ground or at an angle, just step it back to the inside of the leg. Then we'll use the right arm to hug the left knee in towards us. We're going to twist. So look as far over the left shoulder as we can, sitting up nice and tall as we do. Take a nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll slowly untwist. We can release the leg. We'll do the same thing going the other way. So we'll keep the left leg straight. This time we'll bend the right one, foot flat to the floor, either inside or over the leg. We use the left arm to hug the right knee in towards us as we twist to look as far over the right shoulder as we can. Sitting up nice and tall as we do. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we can gently untwist and we can release. And then from here, I'd just like you to find a position that feels comfortable to you, whether you want to lay down, whether you want to be seated, whatever feels good to you. We just have some relaxation to finish with. And then once you've found your comfortable position, I'd just like to take your focus onto your breathing. We're just going to start with those nice full deep breaths in and out again, just like we did at the start of the class. So with each deep breath in, we're going to draw it down towards the stomach, allow the stomach to rise, and then as you breathe out, just allow your stomach to drop back down again. And if you want to, you can just take your focus down towards your lower body. So maybe curl your toes down and just start to squeeze through all the muscles in the lower body, so through your calves, your thighs, into the glutes. And we really just want to squeeze and build that tension into all the muscles of the lower body. We'll hold that tension there for a few full deep breaths in and out. And then on that next deep breath out, just let go of all that tension in the lower body. Feel your legs sink a little bit heavier into the floor. Your feet might just drop out to the sides. And we can do the same thing with the upper body as well if you want to. You can clench the hands into fists, and really just start to squeeze through all the muscles in your arms, the shoulders, into the back of the neck. And we'll squeeze and build that tension, holding it there. And then on the next deep breath out, just let go of all that tension you've created. Feel your shoulders drop away from your ears, and your arms sink a little bit heavier into the floor. And then we're just going to slowly start to bring some awareness back towards the body. So maybe just gently wiggle your fingers, maybe wiggle your toes. We just want to put a few small circles through the wrists and ankles. And then if you want to change position, please do. Maybe you want to hug the knees in towards you. You want to roll onto your side. Whatever feels comfortable to you. Then just slowly and gently, in your own time, I'd like to make your way back to a seated position. And then from our seated position, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. As we do, just allow your arms to drift overhead. And as you breathe out at the top, just relax your shoulders and circle the arms back. And then we'll do that one more time. Nice deep breath. As you breathe out, just relax your shoulders, and we'll circle those arms back. And fantastic work, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that yoga. If you have any questions, please send me a message or drop me a comment below. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you all very, very soon.